Hello, bonjour, and welcome to Baronneries. This is the 4th episode of my Middara playthrough. I hope you enjoyed the last episode with the new format. I'm going to make this episode with same format. I think that trying twice to see if it sticks is a right thing to do. And so let's jump in. Alright, so the Chamber 2 of the Gauntlet. You see already that the map is much bigger, a lot of enemies waiting for us in faraway corners, and the first one that we'll encounter is a water Loa right here. She's already in range to attack us. They are not, but they are pretty close, so it doesn't take much movement for them to be activated, so I'm gonna probably try to not move and wait for the Loa to get to us slightly, because it has a range of 6. So I will try to move my characters in the front to the side here so that she pulls back just a tiny bit, and then try to snipe her from afar, giving us a little bit of more time to get to the cave sickles. After the cave sickles here, I'm probably going to lure this cave sickle here, because he's definitely the line of sight is clear and it can be triggered alone from what I can see. And finally I'm gonna try to get the water Loa here by itself. I don't think I'm gonna be able to make her come to us. It might be difficult because, you know, they have a range of 6, so I'll probably have to trigger this, but if there's only the water Loa to trigger this, depending on what happens, you know, it might be okay. And finally, depending on how all these fights go, maybe I will go get the Gévaudains here. 2 Gévaudains are pretty dangerous, especially with the water around. I'm not sure how I will stick this. We'll see, but you know, they're protecting loot box, a lever that's apparently written "don't pull" over it, so I don't know if I'm gonna pull it or not, depends. There's another loot box here, it's randomized, we don't know which one it is. And alright, let's see the encounter sheet. So we've got the end conditions here. An adventurer needs to find and end their turn on the blue exit. We saw that there wasn't a blue exit yet revealed, so probably something will happen, maybe with the lever or not, I'm not sure. For the lose condition, all adventurers are defeated. Special encounter rules, the Gévaudains are sleeping, and they are until an adventurer has ended their turn on tile UM19 or has dealt damage to one of them. So the goal is probably to damage them and flee, because again, I don't want to face them both at the same time. While sleeping, Gévaudan will not take turns. If they are sleeping when an attack or spell is made against them, the attack or spell gains +6 on the roll, so the first attack is strong, and they cannot dodge or counter. So yeah, that's it. This means that the first adventurer, if possible, if they can make an attack on each, or at least the first one, twice in the same turn. Blue objective, a lever protrudes from the wall. An adventurer adjacent to this token may make an encounter action to pull the lever, and we read the text. We've got a blue totem, red totem, and green totem, so, you know, stuff is gonna happen. We don't see where those totems are, so I know what's gonna happen, like, I know where the totems hide from us, but I'm still trying to play it as much as I can, as if I didn't know, alright? That's the whole goal of this Let's Play. I hope the feeling of discovery is still gonna be there, even though I know about this fight from the start. Alright, so we've got all these enemies. I will not go through their cards again, because we've been defeating them for a while now. We've got our 4 initiative cards here, and we're gonna shuffle and begin. Alright, so we've got Zeke, Nightingale, and Remy, so I'm pretty glad actually at this turn. And then the cave sickles, water Loa is pretty far. Cave sickle 4 and 6 is only this guy here, so he won't be activated. And 1, 2, 3 are quite close, so I will try to not bring them in. And the Gévaudan, of course, will sleep. Zeke goes first, heals Remy with a juice box, and moves back to pull the Loa a little bit to the front. Nightingale follows, moving away to enable Remy to fall back on her turn, and heals herself with a little bit of OJ as well. Remy, she moves back freely with her core and heals Rook with a bottled blessing, aka shampoo bottle. Cave Sickles AI are not triggered, and we pass on to Rookido, who simply heals himself with an HP potion. And the other Sickles pass their turn to get to the red Loa, advancing by 1 and shooting Zeke at max range of 6. His dodge lends us our first goal of the session. Hooray! Fortunately, the Loa doesn't roll super well, inflicting only 1 damage to him. The other enemies are not activated, so we move on to our second round. Demon Girl moves in full SP, enough to land only 1 damage, thanks to Loa's arcane ability that just ignores all symbols. I only roll the black die because I have to, and a skull would make me automatically miss. The beer gives her 1 SP just in case. Rook saves on movement with his buckler and approaches with 4 SP left. Enough to cast 2 stifles. Unfortunately, only the second one hits, but at 8 damage a hit, we just love it. Zeke Boy uses almost all SP to get in range of taking the Sickles aggro, and throws a knife that ends the Loa neatly. Should have looted it at this moment, but still thought at the time of recording that I needed to finish all foes on the AI card to do it. The farthest Sickle is too far to aggro on, but all 3 of the first group does. Second dodge of the day, second skull, this bodes well. Fortunately, even with Hive Mind, the first one misses, as the second Sickle too, with an unnecessary dodge from Zeke, unfortunately. I decide to pay to dodge the first attack of the third Sickle to keep my armor dodge and counter for when it comes close to attack. But guess what? The third skull appears on a reroll. Fortunately, still doesn't hit. My counter strat doesn't work, and Zeke ends up bruised, but not poisoned at least. Other enemies are not triggered yet, and we end the round with Remy that uses all SP to fly closer, and actually hit with her wand of missiles, but for a puny 1 damage on the orange Zergling. Third round begins with a voluntary break attack from Zeke's movement that pulls the 4th frickin' skull on his dodge. Like, just delete. Of course, it earns him a little bit of pain. He continues his movement since no counter happened to get close to the purple one. Remy goes to get the loot, getting her an HP potion that she instantly uses on Zeke. He really needs it. And we get 5 bonus points to the exam score from the chest too. Red Sickle walks in on Zeke, who only succeeds his second dodge, and counters, instantly killing his foe with a lucky reroll of 1 combat die, changing the 3 in a 7. Also prevents the poison, so we're quite happy with that. Purple Sickle triggers the 5th skull. Honestly, I can't anymore, like it's... yeah, whatever. Fortunately, he isn't damaged too much by the 2 first attacks, and the third one misses. Orange Bug comes in with a vengeance for Red's death, but no dodges left for Zeke, hitting and poisoning him in the end. Nightingale uses her innate ability to boost the team's SP and herself's, and she goes in for an attack, which is empowered, of course, with the talisman, and it hits, dealing both magic and physical damage, and this is a 1-hit kill. The Lonesome Sickle is busy with a second Loa in their corner. The big dude cures Zeke's poison with a well-aimed Tiger Balm thrown at his festering wound or something. Such a cool guy. He also stifles the Purple Sickle, finishing it off and looting an 8 gold coin card. On the 4th day of the MAST Lady luck gave to me No foes attacking, repositioning, a bit of healing, and just one token of urgency. Now we want to get the sickle to us, so we don't have to deal with the Loa yet, so the team barely moves, which gets them to full SP anyways, well, for most of them, and Rook is in the right spot to bring the bug to him. It rolls a Snake Eye on attack, which makes Rook's dodge like superfluous. The next round sees Remy landing one of her 2 missile attacks for a little bit of damage, and the sickle plays next to trigger a counter from her, which hits. It moves in, missing its melee attacks with a beer-induced well-made dodge, but she has no ways of countering to stop the follow-up, unfortunately. Yep. I should have kept that counter for this step, because she misses her conviction roll, thus receiving the poison negative effect. Nightingale would have triggered a break attack from the sickle the way I made her move, but I forgot on the spot. Although there would have been a way to place her to not cause a break attack, so I'm not too bothered by this rule mistake. She successfully attacks and kills her foe, earning another 8 gold. I also forgot to trigger the blue totem upon entering this tile, but again, it doesn't change the upcoming events. Diagram 1 opens up to a tight passage leading to a green totem this time. Rucarino comes in to land his second attempt at stifling the purple water Loa, taking a good chunk of her health with it. She unfortunately retorts casting a spell on Nightingale, which hits, and finally triggers her 2 Faust discipline. Can we get an amen? She earns her first vow token, yes. The 6th round sees the Loa acting very last, which makes me confident enough to attempt to pull one Gévaudan to the group, hoping the others will finish the elemental before. The +6 to Remy's roll helps her greatly, putting the Gévaudans at half HP, and of course, awakening it. She moves out of the way, and because she did not end her turn on the tiles, the second Gévaudan is still soundly sleeping. I forgot to roll her poison die on the status step on her turn. It deals 5 irreducible damage. Zeke simply stays put, and the demon girl pulls back to leave Rook as the first eligible target for the Loa, just in case, you know. A great spell casting roll ends the Loa before she could even act, and we loot 9 coins. And I finish his turn by using his last SP to move close enough to trigger the awakened dog's AI. Pretty lucky with the 7th round, starting off with the Gévaudan coming in for its first attack. Which doesn't deal damage, thanks to Rook high armor value. Not enough armor piercing symbols to help the dog either. It moves towards the farthest PC, Nightingale, and this should have triggered 2 break attacks from Rook and Remy, but I forgot about it. Rolling on with rule mistakes, I miscalculated the attack. She should have suffered 2 damage there. I start her turn not forgetting about break attacks this time and dodging successfully. Her counter is also successful, and the use of the vow token helps just ending the enemy. Although, since she countered, she shouldn't have continued her movement action. Rook gets close enough to hit the last Gévaudan, and with that +6 to his spellcasting roll, inflicts his regular 8 stifle damage. Zeke spends a good amount of SP to get to the little dry spot in the lake. He should be able to aggro the Gévaudan and thus dodge, hopefully. Remy rushes in to get the blue objective. She uses all, or practically all, her movement abilities and SPs to get to there. And she doesn't mind the do not pull sign and activates the lever, and it earns us 10 gold. And apparently there's a supervisor in the background that just lost his bet. Remy's is the first to act right after. Both her last poison rolls are super low, extending her life expectancy well over what I hoped for. Her shitty training carefully brings her to the blue chest, which contains 8 gold and 5 more grade points. Yes! Nightingale runs in with most of her SP, while Rook finishes off the enemy with a well-made Courage Stifle. He's well in line to be the MVP of this battle, honestly. The kill earns off a measly 4 gold, though. The end of this round and all of the next one is only spending every character's SP and movement abilities to get closer to the next style, which was revealed by the blue totem. Remy miraculously survives with yet again a low poison roll. You just gotta love Avian Flight. Like, she went from being the farthest of the bunch to being just behind Rook. Unfortunately, these empty-ish rounds earns me another urgency token, so I can't really dilly-dally anymore from now on. Nightingale moves closer with all her SP spent. Boyo triggers the green totem and the red totem in one movement action. This finally reveals the blue exit and yet one more loot token. But also, a new foe has appeared. Alright, so Animate. Passives, Chains of Perdition. The first time each turn the Animate hits with an attack. Follow up, make another attack with the same range and damage type against the same target. Okay, so 2 attacks at the same time. Heavy Cleave. The first time each turn the Animate makes an attack against an adjacent opponent, it will empower the attack. So when it's adjacent, though. First condition, AI condition, does the Animate have damage? Heal 2, so that will happen every turn, a regeneration of sort. First real condition, is there an opponent adjacent? Make a melee attack, then move up to 2 space farther from the target. This movement does not provoke break attacks. Good. Next, is there an opponent with an SOI? I think he is. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, he's not. Good. Prioritize the opponent with the lowest conviction value without darkness. Inflict darkness. Then make a ranged attack, prioritizing an opponent with darkness. Move towards the nearest opponent, make a melee attack against the opponent with the most damage. So basically we want to be adjacent, that's it. We don't want to be in casting range because that's a lot of damage coming in. Like, that's impossible. That's practically a sure hit kill. And it's not follow-ups, right? It's then. So this counters doesn't work against this at all. So we need to be in melee range or max range, which is the case now. We're at range 4. For symbols, book and shield +1 physical damage, star +2 physical damage, got a purple casting die, so that's okay, and good conviction. 18 health, 9 defense, okay, so that's classic, it's okay, 6 movement and 3 armor, so honestly, magic damage is going to do much better against him, and not so bad combat dice. And so, the possessed armor rushes in, but misses its ranged attack against Zeke's dodge. And bad news, luck runs out with poison, finally hitting Remy hard and defeating her. Goodbye, girl. Rook ends this round by moving fully with all resources spent closer to where all the action is happening. And of course, the Animate starts this round. Its darkness spell is barely avoided by Zeke's conviction roll. I chose not to dodge the ranged attack since I won't be able to counter it anyways, and it misses, so I'm glad I didn't. The Animate's next empowered melee attack is not dodged, trolling a 6th skull on the black die. It hits like a truck with a total of 6 damage. This triggers Chains of Perdition passive ability, enabling a 2nd melee attack to be attempted at Zeke, which deals no damage and permits a great counter attack to be dealt in return with an awesome 4 damage in, considering the Animate's defense and armor value. I'm quite happy with this. The Noble Demon still lags behind, even when putting in all her SP to move in. Zeke is in the perfect position to trigger the Animate's better AI condition, so I want to stay close. I still make him move to provoke a break attack, which he dodges beautifully with 4 shields rolled and barely countering. Had nothing to lose rerolling that 4, honestly, because with that much armor, it's all or nothing, and it pays off, but with only 1 little damage done in return. Again, since I countered, I shouldn't continue Zeke's movement action like so. Good job, Baron. And ended this turn with a missed regular attack. Rook uses his shield to move closer without any SP expenditure, but even then, his Courage Stifle spell doesn't cut it, and we move on to the next round. The big guy starts off the round with 4 SP, and every point is spent stifling the Animate. The first spell hits, and my hope for a kill is stifled with a miss to stifle on his second attempt. The Animate follows, making a first melee attack against Zekarino. Make me proud. And oh, he knows what he's made for. He knows how he feels, and he feels for his classic dodge counter attack. It works wonderfully with a huge counter with his Morningstar. If the Animate wouldn't have regeneration, it would have died right there. But there's still 1 little HP to chip away from it. Nightingale tries to attack, but the empowered dice shows a 7th skull. Her friend Zeke moves in and provokes a break attack, as usual. He's not able to fulfill the full dodge counter combo, rolling super sad values on both the original and full rerolled attempts. 2 SP left to spend, and an attack is made. And this time hits true, with the final point of damage being delivered to the Animate's anima. The kill makes us draw 9 gold pieces, which is the max we can get at this loot level. But sadly, I have yet to see an item, unique, or monster loot for this whole run. The rest of the rounds are spent to run against the urgency token clock. Every character spending all SPs to get to the chest, grab a juice box, and 5 more exam points, and reaching the blue exit in time. Depending on how many urgency tokens you have and the positioning of your characters, it could be important to play correctly all remaining rounds and turns, even if no enemies are around, because the initiative track could theoretically troll you out of a win if you are short in time and unlucky with the character's ranks in the track. Good. So that's it, guys. We just finished this super huge and long battle. I will simply make the resolution of this, count the points of all the enemies we killed. I'm 5 points away from the maximum you can get in this adventure, I think. That's 85 points, so because I lost Remy, you know. And unfortunately, I know there is no special reward for having a perfect score, and I think this is really a miss from not making so that if you have a perfect score, you get like a unique item or really more gold or 1 more XP. Like, I mean, it's hard to get a perfect score. So yeah, we make it through the MAST. We return all starter pack weapons, armor cores, and disciplines. We keep any consumables we didn't use, so 1 that I found. And then any golden items gained during the MAST are kept as well, so that's good if I would have had a relic, which I didn't. And we determined the MAST grade and gold and XP and using for the shop and train for the next rule page. So we're gonna count the stash. So 346 gold earned. Oh, I didn't look at the condition. Oh, we restore, of course. Win condition, restore adventures. Continue to making the grade. So we did make the grade. And very happy about how this went through. Could have been better, but it could have been much, much worse. Was really happy in the end with rolls. Not so many skulls this time, but still too many to my liking always. And thank you so much for being here. It's my 4th episode. I'm really eager to continue this. There are gonna be more build videos. I did the Vowed Masochist already. You can click on the video at the corner up right. And we've got 3 more builds to cover. So in the comments, you can definitely leave which of the 3 builds you would like to see. So I will make a review of their performance of all these fights in the next video, and also of what I will have decided to buy them, because I wasn't really super happy with the wand. We'll see. I mean, I like that it's magic damage, but so yeah, there might be a little bit of shuffling around of the cores and maybe armors. I'm not really sure, not for him for sure. And so yeah, we'll see. Again, thank you so much for being here. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Press the button for the notifications, and see you soon. Bye.